Good evening, Randomizer fans, and welcome to Final Fantasy Randomizer Winter Tournament Chaos's Winter Carnival. My name is Lord Fizzlebeef. Joining me in the booth today is Luffy. How's it going, Luffy?
Oh, fantastic, Fizzle. Wonderful Saturday night here. Getting ready to watch some Game 2 action between a couple of our friends here, Dani and shadowmrt.
So, already, longtime Dani followers will have a very big question.
There's one in the chat right now.
Dani's got a white mage in a not forced slot. Was there any drafting? Was there any forcing? No. This was a choice. So,
a very interesting choice at that.
Fascinating choice that I think could pan out. Let's talk Blursings real quick to tell us why we landed where we landed. Fighter. We got a Force Fighter, it's got 20 def, it's got improved Cat Claw, no pro rings for it. Sure, neat, cool. Black Mage, that got forced. +2 to level 1 MP, +40 health, -10 hit percent. Don't even care. Sure, it's a Black Mage. Now, why we're not running a Red Mage today, they get Resist All at the cost of no nuke. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I get it. That free ribbon to me is very, very tempting. The no nuke, I mean, if nuke rolls level 1, this looks like a pretty good play. But if nuke roll is in the higher, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Dani, historically, we know her disdain for white mages, so fascinating, like you said in the chat earlier.
So, White Mage, the thing that we did go for, what do we got over there? Well, it gets even more interesting. Legendary swords and 20 strength at the cost of -10 agility.
Yeah, so basically no penalty, like you were saying, and I mean, sure, a second melee White Mage. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. I mean, I really have. So we'll see.
I am baffled and intrigued as the gate is going to be dropping in a couple seconds here. Let me work on getting these synced up real quick.
Looking at white magic as soon as we are synced, we got Whitelock exit. Okay, this already looks like a decent thing for the white mage so far.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, that double black with the 2 nuke casters and that white mage with exit, that's pretty really good, I think, maybe.
So,
like it.
Question in chat, who rolled this seed and are there any changes? I rolled this seed and there were no changes to the flag set. And...
Oh. Okay.
I heard you like daggers.
Thor Hammer to start, and Imps have Lightning 3. Decent fast 2 encounters right there as well. Something to keep them, mindful of with all the free steps between Canaria and Temple of Fiends.
The Lightning 3 Imps giving Shadow Mr. T the business as Dani makes it through the Temple of Fiends. Not a heck of a lot there. Going for the exit play because we want as few steps as possible. I adore Dani's Black Mage sprites. I agree. They are fantastic.
Yep. 8 nukes off the bat, too, for Dani with that +2 to level 1 MP for those Black Mages is going to make this early game really smooth. Oh, hi.
Oh, okay.
So, we're ready for some route divergence, I think. I am going to be very interested to see where our runners decide to fade here, Ice Cave or Marsh.
LFB rolls a jet again. Look, I tend to roll them on the fast side, but there's usually some hiccup somewhere. Like... So let's see as I juggle my windows around real quick. Shadow Mr. T makes it through Garland. Gonna be the second to get our floater and rod as Dani heading east. Question chat, who won game 1 of the series? I believe it was Dani.
It was Dani, yes.
the pause in Shadow Mr. T's side is like, did I really just get that? Was first item floater, really? Yep, really.
Yep.
Good luck.
Ooh, okay. So we got Night Learnable, Life, Wall, and Ruse at level 2.
Okay.
White Mage looking pretty good with all the utility right here with the Ruse, the Wall, the Exit, the Heal 3, the Life. Pretty good.
Yeah, with the level 1 nuke between these two parties, I would much rather have Dani's right now, I think.
I agree. Dani checking the Little Check Provoca weapon shop there, seeing if she can find a cheeky cat claw with that bonus on the knight, or the fighter right now, actually.
Meanwhile, Shadow going for boxes in Matoya. This is usually a good play if you're trying to bet against there being like the vendor item in Provoca, because sometimes you usually don't have enough cash to get it when you get there. Unfortunately, we got next to nothing out of that.
Ooh, okay, so we get a ruby from Bicky, so we got access now to a bunch of key items with the Sages of Crescent Lake, Sarda with the floater, and Titan's Trove with that ruby.
Cheap pro ring -3s. Alright, no vendor item in Provoca, but kind of cheap houses.
950. Anytime houses roll under 1,000, I like to see it. You're not going to be able to afford many of them in the early game here, but pretty affordable once we get a few levels under our belt.
So there's a question in chat. Once someone emerges from this match victorious, who is their opponent going to be?
Let me see if I can check that for you too. I closed that window.
And the question, well, let me help you out. The question was posed by one Mr. Pickles and Beer in chat.
Oh, well, I think he answered his own question.
And gosh dang, wouldn't you know it, as I stare at this bracket, the winner of this match will make it to quarter 3 top half versus 1 Pickles and Beer.
Pickles and Beer playing jokes over here. A friend of mine as well.
Oh, it looks like today's fake Ruby is being played by Concrete.
Yeah, that's funny with Concrete right there. Like, I can't tell if that is a junk food or a different mineral, because if you go to, places like Shake Shack or BurgerFi, they have what's called concretes that are like really frozen shakes. So I'm curious.
So the way I look at it is like the gem, whereas the gem is like a pure mineral kind of thing, like it's a pure thing. You look at concrete, and it's just a mix of stuff that's just kind of like solidified, and it crumbles and it breaks apart. If the ruby is like meat for a Titan, concrete has got to be like Lucky Charms or something.
Yeah, exactly. A bunch of little pop rocks and delicious little pops in the mouth. I like it.
Yeah.
Silver bracelet +1s for 3/4 of the party, since our fighter cannot wear them, but pretty good.
That's fine. He'll find real armor at some point. Ooh, silver +4 swords and a cat claw +3.
Yep.
Cat claw ace gonna get some work in.
Alright, so we got Life 2, Promotion Lock, Cure 4. Temper level 6.
Yeah, Temperate level 6 would also very much make me happy to have a double Black Mage setup.
Ship from the Sages over here at Crescent Lake. Very much keeping in play either that possible ice cave or marsh dive that
Right.
runners tend to fade here with this early floater. So
Right.
we'll see who decides to make that play and if it makes a difference.
So bottle out of Sarda, and we did get early ruby, so we're going to do that real quick. Once this resolves, where are you headed?
I mean, call me spicy, but I mean, with Rod and with access to Volcano, I might go just pop in and check a few trap tiles. I mean, we can do Lich here at level 6 with these nukes and everything if we can get through Earth Cave. It's a pretty easy dungeon, but there's nothing wrong with going around sailing with the airship and checking some of these easy checks and doing some turn-ins as well.
Now, shadowmrt T, here in Ice Cave, and I can't help but notice that we paddled there.
Interesting.
Hooray! I wonder.
Hooray!
I wonder what this is. Is this a memory hole of the floater, or was this with intent for early levels?
I'm not really sure, but Oxio from the Nerek as well.
Chat correct that there's a 50-50 that this is Canal, and that's dangerous odds. And Dani, signaling that she's already done with that whole boxes thing, is here at the shortcut of checking the Bahamut incentive. Gets the key.
Fizzle, what did you do here? We have access to 3 dungeons and we have key. We're loot searching at 9 minutes and 30 seconds here. This is wild.
Look, I'm not saying that I was going to eat the rest of my dinner whenever the seed got done, and that may have subconsciously affected the seed I rolled. I'm just saying I'm staring at my dinner over here that I'm going to be getting to after this in, 20 minutes?
Oh my god. If loot is like vendor item at like Gaia here, oh my god. We got the bottles, so we could turn that in real quick too. I mean, what if that's the loot? I mean, I don't even know, honestly, if we got a tail hunt here with Facet level 2, Temper already Black Mage learnable, Catclaw Ace on the Knight. Oh, God.
Question chat, what's for dinner? I got a bacon and jalapeno cheeseburger, and on the side I got some buffalo fries.
Oh, I'm making me hungry. I gotta get some dinner too. My wife's gotta pick me up something on the way home.
Oh, and a power gauntlet in Canarian Armory with the tail right there.
Oh my god. I'm thinking like maybe this turns into a tail hunt. No, here you go. 10 minutes, 45 seconds. Have everything you want but the loot.
Yeah, so... no, the only thing we have left to find is the loot. If the loot is here in ice, like, this is like a notable leg up for shadowmrt T.
Right, yeah. You gotta think so. Even with Dani, is the Ice Cave and Marsh Cave are the farthest things from her mind right now.
They're going to be the last things we get to, and dollars to donuts. She's going to do Marsh Cave first.
Absolutely.
Oh, hey, a free white shirt out of one of the better chat boxes.
Okay. I mean, you like to see it. I mean, I think we mentioned it too, but free power bonk there right next to the tail as well. I mean, this is too nice. It's too kind right here. Promotion at level 6 at 11 minutes 42 seconds.
that you got to in the airship.
Oh man.
Oh, flame +3 shield. Yeah, we'll take that. That's equipable.
I mean, wow. I think next.
Never mind.
Never mind.
I set my sights too low. Here, have an Aegis +5.
Okay, I mean that's fine if you want such a thing.
The only blemish on that knight's gear right now is the chain armor, which I can only assume that in the next 3 boxes we're gonna open like an opal plus something.
Yep, there's the marsh play. You were right.
We're getting the marsh play, but this is a lot earlier than I thought it was going to be.
This is just really choice routing, I think, by Dani as well. She just sailed straight north from Bahamut, parked at Marsh right here. You gotta love what she's done so far. This is fantastic.
And looks like Shadow Mr. T grabbed a ribbon out of Ice Cave in the 6-box room. If we make it to Ice Cave, which is it's not really terribly likely at this point, I don't think we're checking that room.
No, I mean, the only spells we're missing right here that I can think of off the top of my head is, maybe Brack for some fun, Quad X because it's also great, and, maybe Warp, but we don't really need anything else. We really don't need to check any more magic shops.
So Wiz Mummies with Lightning 2 makes this tile a bit of a bummer, but the nuke gets out before the second spell comes in.
Fabian Hawk in chat looking for some of your expertise, Fizzle.
Ooh, and it's the canal. So okay, there is something in Ice Cave. We don't know what it is, but there is something there. Question in chat. So, what model of Gundam is her knight? Is the fighter the RX-782? Yes. The promoted version just gives it like some spinies on the shoulders, basically, because it's really hard with the limited color palette to make like a Gundam Mark II or a Gundam Alex or whatever. So it's just we go from an RX-78 to an RX-78 with like stuff bolted onto it. It's fine.
Interesting choice to warp out there for Dani. I mean, with that zombie dragon tile, I might have spent all my nukes there being promoted already and just grabbed any levels I can. But level 10 at 14 minutes has to feel really good.
I don't know that I would have done my grind in Marsh without a ribbon.
Fair. The exit, though, makes it a little more palatable, in my opinion.
A little bit, but that's only if we're not solo grinding.
True.
Level 3 magic, anything interesting? I don't recall what...
Tier 3 is fine, and White Mage has harm 2, sure. Heal 2x for no fade though for or any kind of really harm spell that matters here for the White Mage, so she might be taking a nap at some point. There's Brack level 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Fabian Hawk in chat. That feeling when 15 minutes into the air is slow.
It's insanity.
Yeah, this is wild.
Gold plus 3s for sale, but that's expensive. Steel armor also there.
Okay. I mean, if we get some money, that is one of the,
post grind we come back here.
Yeah, that's fine. I just hate seeing like golds or steel armor in like Provoca. That's the worst armor shop to walk back to.
Yeah.
Still no vendor item as well. Let's see if we can find it here at Gaia while we turn in this bottle.
Where's level 7 Fade? I guess we pick it up for now, but to be perfectly honest, boy, if I could flip that White Mage into a third Black Mage, I would be just the happiest.
Yeah, go figure that, fighter triple black was probably the party here to take. I mean, that's 12 nuke casts at level 1 plus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. Both Invis' level 8 feels kind of bad, but that free white shirt Shadow Mr. T has is going to feel pretty good if he ever sees that.
Yeah. I mean, there's our cube.
Access to every dungeon there for Dani.
Yeah, we just need to figure out where the loot is and we're good to go.
Let's see. Crown Turn-In still outstanding here for Shadow Mr. T. Ordeals and Waterfall really left for Dani here.
Ordeals, Waterfall, and Ice.
Yep, Ice too. Yep. And okay, you know what? She's proven us both wrong. I did not think she'd do this with everything she had early on.
Yeah, no, I thought we would have headed to Honorak first, but We were right next to this, basically. This was kind of the closest, fastest check. We've got warp. We do have warp, right?
I haven't seen warp.
All right, I might be having seed bleed. But we have exit.
Definitely have exit.
We have exit.
Definitely have exit.
So,
yes, exit for sure.
Yeah.
Lock 2 as well there at level 3 black. I missed that earlier, so that's pretty good safety net there if these fiends roll evasive.
Was that a lamp purchase? I feel like I just saw a lamp purchase.
I think it was. And, you know, shame on me for not mentioning that before when Dani checked level 4 magic. Stavian Hawk, crown to crystal to adamant to slab to ribbon. I mean, it's possible at this point. I mean, who knows really what we're gonna see. This is definitely this is very interesting. Looks like there was some opal armor as well that Shadow Mr. T picked up on his way through Ice Cave. That would be pretty choice for this fighter if Dani decides to open those boxes.
I think we're just focusing on the trap boxes right now, hoping that we find something good. Opal plus 1 gauntlets, not what we want.
Yeah, not with that power bonk. Moment of truth, although this is going to be a fetch, I'm sure. Oh my god.
What was it?
Adamant. So it's crowned to adamant so far. So Fabian, you're not far off for it. Yeah, soft numb. To your point, there's got to be some pretty sizable fetch chains left here.
Ooh. Seafood party pack. We needed to get some party levels, and this is a good place to do it.
Yeah, we got a couple of Thor hammers here that this white mage can do some stuff with, and these nukes get turn order. Pretty good. 350, 240, 200 HP on the lobsters, around less than 250 on the sea snakes. Sea trolls may have rolled up a little bit, though.
So, crown to adamant to herb so far. Hooray!
Hooray!
That's not an endorsement of the fetch chain, that is merely an acknowledgement of our hero, the Hooray Dwarf.
That feeling when an Opal plus 2 is not good enough. And Dani does get that ribbon.
Interesting. I wonder if we're having second thoughts about the power of the cat claw, but we are going to take a seafood party pack grind real quick, because our party levels are kind of butts, and we need to fix that.
At level 13 across the board, I think, right here. This will be pretty good XP if they decide they don't want to really hit hard. We'll see. This isn't bad.
Meanwhile, that herb turned into the Vorpal plus 3, which I believe our cat claw is plus 2. So, I don't remember if it's plus 2 or plus 3, but either way, in either of those scenarios, the Vorpal plus 3 would be an ever so slight upgrade over the cat claw for our cat claw ace.
I want to say the cat claw was plus 3 as shadows have thunder, giving Shadow Mr. T the business here.
So, yeah, as chat points out, with the information Shadow has, this is known to be Canal.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, this could be key to Canal.
It could be.
Yeah, but this is very, very, very likely that this is Canal.
I mean, he could also want to maybe take a look at the spike tiles down here, although not being promoted seems unlikely.
Right.
Yeah, Dani. Yeah. Dani did a whoopsie and walked out of Ice Cave instead of going and checking the incentive item.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dani, please.
So She's gonna bleed a little bit of time back here to Shadow Mr. T, but
This is not a misplay. This is just a third crack at the seafood party pack.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine.
And I will deny any other suggestions otherwise. Ale in chat, this is next level RNG manipulation.
I mean, you know, I keep telling Dani every time we talk that she's a better runner than she gives herself credit for, so maybe she's just big braining all of us right now. I don't think shadows can appear in Ice Cave, but maybe she's just trying to avoid the thunder.
And what's going to be worse is when she finds out that she did all this work just for a Vorpal, which is the most middling of upgrades for what she's already got.
Yeah, it would be much more palatable to see the ribbon at the end of this chain rather than the Vorpal. But I mean, it's fine. We're gonna run into some dead ends here with the absolute gloriousness that you rolled in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, there has to be hardship at some point.
Dark Moon question in chat: has Shadow gone to Ice? Yeah, Shadow did Ice Cave before he got went and turned in that floater for the airship. So yes, he did. And Thavian Hawk already with the answer. Yes. Dark Moon, I can never tell if you're being funny or not because you're so dry. Suddenly I get what you were saying. You know what? That's on me, buddy. I realized it after I thought, look, I've had a long day of work. I'm having a drink. I'm enjoying some company with friends, watching Fizzle roll some ridiculousness. You got me there.
Question in chat. Absolute gloriousness in the first 15 minutes. What did you do this time, Fizzle? I got 2 words for you. King Floater.
I got 3 words too. Level 1 nuke. Sounds like a bad day. I mean, you're probably not wrong.
Is this the second King Floater seed? This is the first one that I recall rolling. I do not remember having another King Floater seed, although my brain is mush, so I could be wrong.
Shadow turning in his lucky charms there and getting the TNT out of the Titan Trove.
Yes, at present it is a loot hunt for... Well, it's a loot hunt for Dani. Shadow Mr. T, hooray! Still needs the key, which we get out of fetch from we get out of Cardia.
Key and Cardia, tail and Corneria. So basically what you're looking at here, chat, is there at 15 minutes we were on a loot hunt only for Dani. She has access to all 4 dungeons with the key and promotion at 15 minutes. So
yeah,
we're either going to not be here a while or we're going to be here a while.
I think it's going to feel that much worse if we end up having to just dig out every other incentive just to find the stupid loot.
It's a 50-50 right now if it's Ordeals or Waterfall, and if I'm a betting man, I'm doing Waterfall because I have access to that dungeon.
Right.
Dani finding the 1-3 water tile here in Northwest Castle. It's a free tile and fairly free levels, but they do hit very hard.
Right. I don't know that we're going to camp out here. We're definitely going to use the rest of our spell charges we got on us now, but I don't think we're going to set up for like a solo grind.
It's a very unreliable tile there with only 1-3 spawning. At level 17 though at 27 minutes, I mean she's got to feel comfortable.
Well, the problem is that you know that your opponent got floater immediately.
Yeah. That's fair. I can't tell how comfortable I would feel right now at 27 minutes, knowing that, like, I've been on a loot hunt for half of the time I've been playing.
The great irony of a jet seed like this is I gotta feel like both players believe that they are losing. I believe Shadow
Right.
Mr. T believes that he is behind because he paddled the ice and then did a big dumb fetch just to get a stupid Vorpal. And I believe Dani believes that she's behind because she just speed ran ice and then said, oops, I gotta go back and get the item, and then redove it a second time just to do a stupid fetch to get a Vorpal that we didn't need. So both of them have to feel like they're behind right now.
Yeah, and I'm very curious to see what Dani does here because, I mean, theoretically, we're fairly even here. Dani with the promotion obviously has a slight lead, I think, in my opinion. But, I mean, as far as key items go, for the most part, we're pretty much even. We can do all the dungeons, and Medusas have nuke. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ordeal's not safe.
You know, everybody keeps talking about, oh, Medusa, nuke on the Medusa script. Well, there you go.
It's funny. I did a practice with Dead Pulse a couple nights ago, maybe a week ago or so, and same thing. Medusas in Sky had nuke, which was hilarious.
Worth noting that I don't actually know if that was the Medusa script. That is merely the script that Medusas happen to have.
One day I'm going to have you educate me off air on what that actually means, because I've been part of this community for about 2 years now, and I still don't know what the air quote Medusa script means.
So the Medusa script is so you know, like the Lich script or like the Tia 2 script. That is the script that is unique to that enemy. Well, the Medusa script is unique in that it exists on 3 different enemies in the game. In the vanilla game, this would be, oh god, it's Medusas and Sarias and Gurmedusas? Those 3 scripts still exist, so there will be 3 identical scripts there will be an identical script on 3 different enemies in the game. Now, if that script happens to roll first spell nuke, that means that there are 3 enemies out there in the game, all with first spell nuke. There is one script that is duplicated. It's on 2 different enemies. There's only one Medusa script that is on 3 different enemies. So when you hear about like stuff being on the Medusa script, that means that you've seen enough of a script on 2 different enemies to know that it's like, oh, good gravy, this is something I'm going to have to deal with like previously and now and probably in the future.
Got it. Okay, I understand now. Shadow Mr. T taking a second wipe to those Medusas that are just also ambush happy, as Classic Gamer and 76 pointing out in chat. Budge Mono calling for the return of Time for Learn.
Well, the next time a YouTuber decides to do Final Fantasy Randomizer, let me know.
Funny enough, you should mention that. There's a YouTuber that I watch named Ryukar, who does a lot of Super Mario Maker and stuff like that. He's talking about running some Final Fantasies, and he did mention possibly running the randomizer. So I will let you know if he decides to do this. He's quite entertaining to watch for Mario Maker.
And Shadow Mr. T wins the loot hunt. It's in Ordeals. It's in Ordeals guarded by nuke Medusas.
Okay, so Shadow Mr. T with a roller coaster of emotions there over the last 5 minutes, taking 2 wipes to Medusas, but then having to feel absolutely fantastic finding that loot there and knowing that it wasn't some like stupid ribbon.
As Dani gets ready to take down Carrie for first orb. Oh, between Waterfall and Ordeals, I feel like she's gonna go Waterfall first.
Why wouldn't you? With the Oxyel in hand, knowing you need 1 item, I mean, you're gonna do that dungeon anyway, probably. You're gonna fire nukes on your way down to Kraken. Why wouldn't you?
Like, we'll get a ribbon out of it, but we gotta do crystal and slab turn-ins to get there.
Yeah, I feel like Ordeals might be the last thing she does at this point. Nuke ogres back in pods.
That's true. I try to make it surprising who gets nuke in my scenes.
Yeah, there's a catchphrase from old Game of Thrones, which I can say is old now because it's been off the air for like 5 years, called "The North Remembers." People remember when you roll dirty seeds fizzle. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true. It's very true. Yep, and here goes Dani on the way. Well, we're gonna do C while we're here. Like, sure.
This is fine. It's fine. But what feels bad about this is it's gonna be Crystal to Slab to Lethane. That's what's gonna feel a little bad.
Yeah.
So Shadow Mr. T, while we're waxing poetics here about everything our runners have been doing, it is in go mode here.
And I believe did pick up the Power Gauntlet, yes?
Yeah, he did, and got his tail. He's about to promote. So a flip of the script, perhaps?
With the loot in hand and with the predictable waterfall dive that's coming up, I would say Shadow Mr. T is in the lead right now, but not by a heck of a lot.
Yeah, it really depends on what Dani sees here when she does finally make her way to Ordeals. If she runs into those nuke Medusas, yikes.
Yeah. Dani's party, I think, has the firepower advantage, but Shadow Mr. T's in go mode. So...
And if I'm Dani, I'm run nuke every fight I come across right here, just firing nukes out left and right, trying to grab any level I can.
Mm-hmm. I would be a little bit more cautious. I don't think I would do that on anything like 4 sprites or less.
Right. I mean, not like a single water, but like if I run into, I get spooked though. If I run into like, I'm still jaded from Duck Derby 2 years ago when I run into that, Gersahag, Wizahag pack with Fire 2 that made my sea dive 30 minutes week 4 of Duck Derby several years ago. So I'm jaded and I throw nukes out at everything that scares me.
Sure.
Rubes 000 in chat. I hear nuke Arsahags are fun. Rubes, I was there in that morning race with ADR with Dani. We were holding hands talking about how sad we felt for ADR running that race, that you didn't see any of that.
So Shadow Mr. T headed for what I believe to be first orb dungeon, which is Earth. Dani about to clear second orb dungeon in the form of C. So Dani's up about 1.5 orb dungeons, but still has to sort out where that loot is.
Yes, Softnum. Level 6 temper. It could be worse. With Dani, obviously, with the slight advantage here, the Red Wizard on Shadow MRT, Mr. T's side is going to get those temper charges just at a much slower rate. Was
temper top slot a 6?
Top slot.
Okay. Still, though, I'd rather have the Black Mage.
Oh, 100%. Dani, funny enough, Dani with this party, aside from the fighter triple black being the air quote optimal party, Dani's party, I think, is much more favorable than the one Shadow Mr. T has.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Yep. So, a very sad waterfall dive is in progress as Shadow Mr. T getting the wrong end of the encounter table here on Earth Floor 2.
Those Black Mages didn't roll extra agility. Those giants just can't hit the outside of a barn.
Yep.
Shadow, how are you going to check that 3-pack on Earth 2 and not check the Asher chest? What is wrong with you?
I mean, he might believe that he's got all the items he needs, or we're just focusing on better trap boxes for now. Maybe
Isn't that top box on Earth 3 a better trap tile, though?
I don't
Isn't
think
there a
so.
trap tile right in front of that box? Am I wrong?
There is, but I don't believe it counts as a better trap box.
Interesting. So we're doing it just for the memes here. If Saracen, if you're out there in chat, sir, you and I need to have a chat.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think there's only 3 in Earth Cave. There's one on the 2nd floor. There's that one in that very tiny room on Vampire floor, and then there's top room of B4, the top left box.
Right. Okay. So, possible silver lining here for Dani getting the slab out of Waterfall. So that's, I guess, the lesser of two evils with having to turn in slab to crystal to ribbon than rather ribbon slab to crystal.
I don't think there's a lesser of two evils here. I think this is just a galactic waste of time, no matter how we do it.
I'm very anxious to see what she runs into here on when she makes her ordeals dive, if she sees those nuke Medusas.
The only upshot is that we're probably going to do Earth as we're pulling into Melman to turn the slab in. Like, that's it.
Right. So she will avoid them by not doing Sky. That's true.
Right. And we're headed back.
Did we forget to buy something?
What are we doing? Where we go? Items. Double checking that we got the vendor item, which
was Chime.
Chime and Gaia, correct?
Yes. I think. Yes, that's true. Quick shout out as well to Cyrinus, our tracker here, to throwing in chat, reminding us of that 6-pack ribbon, and lamenting as well to the woe that is
and that is a beef belt that we are passing on.
Interesting.
Well, all right.
I think that's fine. I mean, I'm a black belt, main. I'll take a black belt every time I see one. And I think, honestly, in this case, it's the right choice to leave it behind. We're 39 minutes in. We're in go mode. We have not seen a spike tile that'll warrant any kind of stationary grind.
Right.
It's fine.
With Shadow Mr. T's party in the mid-teens, I don't hate it either. This feels like we've already committed to trying to get our levels with some sort of walking grind. So we're never going to get even close to 32, which is what you really need for a black belt to get kind of... to make it be worth more than like an equivalent level fighter, all things considered.
Right. Especially with that Catclaw Ace and already having found the Vorpal +3.
Right.
Now, the Vorpal is a Vorpal. It has a special place in my heart, but at the same time, it's a Vorpal. So... Did Dani do all of her magic shopping? I'm not sure, because at least that would make the walk to Fane a little less terrible.
I don't believe so, but I don't know how much... Well, we could get life on the night. I don't know that there was anything we were really... Well, maybe the level 6 tempers.
Level 6 life 2 was promotion lock for that white mage as well.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, there's some stuff we can do.
A point of order as well. Zoe, the white mage, swinging a katana. Just for the... Level 20 party, it looks like across the board for Dani as well, at 41 minutes and change. I mean, I gotta feel like she feels okay, but at the same time, like we were talking about earlier, she's got to feel behind, because, I mean, who wouldn't feel behind with that early floater?
Yeah.
It's hard to not feel behind.
Shadow Mr. T, in Volcano Armory, digging out the armory itself. We didn't find anything good in the first couple boxes. Wonder if we'll have anything in the rest of the boxes. There is one better trap box. It's the guarded tile one. Well, it's not a grind tile.
Still no spike tile here for that black belt, so leaving it behind was the right play. What happened to that slot 4 black mage? Did it just like die somewhere?
It got tagged by Blizzard.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it's just like a random death touch or something, but I didn't notice.
And and Dani just scoots right on by the beef belt as well. Nobody wants a black belt today, but with nowhere to grind it, like, yeah.
It's the right decision here. At 42 minutes, at 3 orbs late, you're not doing some kind of stationary grind at this point.
Yeah, so Dani's got the 3 orbs. No more orb dungeons are needed. But we're about to turn in our slab to get our crystal, to get our ribbon, and then go do the ordeals that we really didn't want to do in the first place.
Yeah, so Shadow Mr. T definitely in, I think, some kind of lead here. We'll see how much of a pain this is going to be for them to, get that party up to speed, because the levels aren't great. But that go mode is certainly nothing to sneeze at.
Right. It'll really hinge on what our 3rd orb dungeon is and how many boxes we open while we're there.
And considering they've already seen those nuke Medusas, there's really no way that I'm going to Sky.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
You just nuke them first. It's fine.
Dani, checking another item shop here. I gotta wonder if she forgets she picked up that chime. Then again, I might want to just really make sure. Do I really gonna do ordeals?
Oh, Dani, no, you got to go to Lefane to do the crystal. Well, I mean, you got to go to ordeals, but let's be honest, we're not doing that. We're following the fetch we got, so we know that we have to go do ordeals. I love the resetting back to better positions. This is a clear indication of I am doing this action right now, and if it's not what I want, I'm resetting and I'm doing the thing there. I saw what I didn't want to see, and now we're gonna go turn in our stupid slab.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it took all of 45 seconds to check some of those towns.
Very efficient.
Yeah, I like it. Dani running very well right here. And every box that Shadow Mr. T opens on the way down in any dungeon gets her that much closer to making up any kind of ground that she might be behind.
Yep. The real difference that we're about to see is Dani is going to be down in ordeals and a crystal turn-in, and Shadow Mr. T is going to be down in orb dungeon. That's the only difference between them, and if we pick the faster orb dungeon, Shadow Mr. T still in the lead but not by a heck of a lot, and with suspicious levels.
Yeah, definitely can't feel great. I mean, that's the thing with these kind of jetty seeds here with this early floater. You do a lot of turn-ins. Yeah, you get a lot of stuff. Yeah, you feel pretty good. Till at 43 minutes, 45 minutes, you look at your levels and go, oh, I'm nowhere near ready to where I need to be.
Ooh, and Dani ignoring the magic shopping trip as well.
Maybe she did buy all our magic then, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe we did it when I wasn't looking.
I know she did grab life on that night. Maybe she didn't bother with life too, or maybe she got it at some point going back to Crescent Lake. I'm not sure.
Interesting. Oh, and Dani deciding to drop a reset right next to the ordeal's landing point.
I love
it. The worm is in her brain, and it says, hey, this crystal is going to be stupid.
I like it. Yeah, to your point with some of that choice resetting and just really kind of efficient routing, that's a great play right there. I like it a lot. Too bad we're going to pick up this ribbon, though.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yes, it was stupid, but also we're not going to say no to a free ribbon. Just give me it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we reset mash that and pick that up on the way to Temple of Fiends here, but I mean, at the same time, we're here. Whatever.
Yeah. So Shadow Mr. T opting for Mirage Sky.
Bold. And I'm going to point out the hilarity of this jet ski that you roll here at 15-minute loot hunt that we still full clear everything.
Yeah. Yeah, Shadow Mr. T is playing very bold and opting to play chicken with the Man-Cat Medusa packs on 3rd and 4th floor.
It's a better you're going to get probably more levels here going down this dungeon, or up, excuse me, through this dungeon than you would going through C, sure. But if I had seen those Nuke Medusas, I'm out.
We gotta live.
Yeah, I'm out.
Ooh, and we attempt Lightning 2 on the Metal Slimes. Unfortunately, the only elements they do not resist are fire and time. And the only one they're weak to is fire.
Oh no, Dani, no, Dani. Oh,
It's fine, they're just Medusas. What could be wrong with them?
I mean, that's an XP right there. It's free experience. Just fire nukes at him. Oh boy. And she gets the zonk back to the first pillar as well.
Oh.
This is going to be mighty close. If she can get through this dungeon, this is going to be mighty close.
Ooh.
I don't remember the pattern, but oh boy.
Oh no. No. Oh no. Safety nukes. Oh, safety nukes.
Safety nukes. I love it. I can't wait to talk to her about this as she gets through this dungeon. I really can't.
Yeah, Dani is done with everything, finds our stupid loot. Are we gonna exit?
Oh.
Now we're gonna check the tile. I mean, they're here, whatever, we'll fade them. Shadow Mr. T is captured by the siren song of the boxes on 3rd floor. This might be the action that tilts things back in Dani's favor.
Yeah, Dani has her loot. She's in her go mode now. She has her 3 orbs, and she's gonna grind on metal slimes.
Oh no!
God,
no!
I'm so scared for her right now. Oh my god!
I need a blanket to hide under.
Someone get me an Alka-Seltzer or something. Oh my god!
Dani, please.
She has no idea what's here.
Dani, I'm begging you, please.
Dani, go back to Marsh and grind on the zombie dragons, please. Anything but this.
Question chat, the slimes have something nasty? No, the Medusas roaming around on this floor have first turn nuke.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, good. We're gone.
Okay, we're out. We're good. Oh, we did it.
Yeah, so Dani avoids the nuke Medusas that gave Shadow Mr. T the business here.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Okay, and very unlike. I don't think they can show up in Temple of Fiends at all. So
they cannot. Well, they might be on a tile, but yeah.
Yeah, but we're not going to check a tile. I doubt.
Well, I mean the Phantom tile.
Shh.
No, wait. I don't think they do exist on a vanilla tile in the game, so they wouldn't be there. Because rather than just having shuffled A sides, we just have all the vanilla tile encounters and also slimes.
Right. Alright, so 50 minutes, 39 seconds, Dani entering Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Mm-hmm. Question chat, who won game 1? Dani won game 1.
Yeah, you heard that all the way up here? Alright, so Shadow Mr. T crossing the Bridge of Destiny.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Looking to fix his levels with a robot chicken.
I like it. It's a very lucrative encounter zone as well.
This would be a better plan if we had more than one nuke caster.
Yeah, I mean, Fire 3, not going to do much against these R-Hydras. Blue Dragon on the Phantom tile as well, for anybody that was checking.
Mm-hmm. Technically solo grindable, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, chat commenting that they're not liking the grind here. Since we're on our way to Topher next, Topher 3rd floor is my like running around grind of choice. Unless I think I have what it takes to take down a war mech, and as I look at Shadow Mr. T's party, I would not be confident. Is it possible? Absolutely. I would not be confident.
He's got fast. He has temper.
Yeah.
War mech might not give him the chance to throw that out though. So this is what we're gonna find out.
Well, let's see if the thing goes off. We're gonna start with some bonk. We're thinking we're going to commit to fast. Nope. Hang on. What are we doing? Temper or fast? Fast out of the red mage. A white shirt just in case. And a temper out of the black mage. Here we go. Fast and temper go off first. Incoming melee detonates the black mage, but we only had one temper left on that. We're probably still okay. White shirt goes off, bonk goes off. A second round of preparation before we start the attack. We're out of temper charges. We already did our fast. We're going to go for yet more evasion. Saber on the red mage. Unclear what it is swinging. Second evasion stat goes off. Wall goes off on the white mage. Incoming melee destroys the red mage. This is a very melee-happy robot chicken. A third round of preparation. As Dani pulls carry 2. Warmech goes for fast. A little scary given the amount of spooky melee. A nuke comes out, but we manage to survive it. We're continuing to kinda hope for the best here. A fire 3 takes down the white mage. 7 hits, 1021. The fighter makes it through, but at what cost?
There's our levels for the fighter, I suppose.
Meanwhile, Dani versus Carry 2. We're already on swing and weight strats. What does our Vorpal do? 8 is 576. We're through, and we're on our way to the Kraken 2 floor.
Dani finding little resistance here through Temple of Fiends so far. Carry 2 and List Shu had nothing for. Yeah, I don't love the play either. I mean, to Fizzle's point, you really only want to do that if you feel like you have the firepower to get through, and the levels are enticing, and, you know, to Fizzle's point, at what cost right there?
Kraken 2, here we go. Fast goes off, Temper goes off. The fighter has been moved down to the second slot. White shirt's going off, self-wall going off. First spell, Fire 2, doing okay so far. 4 tempers left on that top black mage. We're going to use one here, and the bottom mage going to flip to nuke strats. 3 hits, 400. Not spectacular compared to what I thought we were going to be doing. Kind of an evasive Kraken. The nuke wasn't good for much either. Incoming stun. We stun the top black mage, but that's fine. Like, as long as he just soaks stuff, everything is cool. Fire 3 isn't going to do much as we continue our evasion stacks. Nuke goes out. For 358, Vorpal swing, do we get there? Single hit for 212 on a fasted Vorpal. That is,
wow.
That's an uh-oh moment. We've done significant damage. Hopefully we can just push through. 7 hits, 990. Through we go. 24 across the board. Seems doable.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first gatekeeper right there. That's, you know, that real test that Dani's going to run into is that Kraken.
Meanwhile, Shadow Mr. T checking the TOF lockboxes. Gets an Ice +5 sword. Not bad, but not a Vorpal +3. As Dani takes Tia 2. Take it away.
So Dani, with the wall, with the fast, with the temper, all going out. White shirt as well. So we got the wall going out, the white shirt going out, fast going out. Great turn order so far. And the temper. Very good. Tia targets the knight right there. Not ideal, but only a couple hits for 189 damage in nuke range, but we're doing okay. We're going to keep white shirting. We're going to keep tempering. Nuke goes out. 358, good roll. Nuke goes out. 125, a little less good. First swing. 3 hits, 228. Vorpal is gonna Vorpal. So we're going to fight. We're going to nuke. We're going to nuke. Nuke goes out. 212. Nuke goes out. 138. Top slot black mage on his floor. 7 hits, 431 though. Dani through Tia 2.
Alright, and we got some life too. We got everything fixed. We just gotta move on to chaos. I said just move on to chaos.
Encounter table, please.
Sorcerers, you're not even doing anything. You're just wasting everybody's time. Come on.
I'm waiting for vanilla death touch right here, just to throw any kind of adversity out here again.
No. We're headed. We're finally made it to the Chaos floor, despite Sorcerer's best efforts. Do a little bit of party jiggling. Throwing the White Mage to the top slot, because we need tempers and fasts to go off no matter what. We want this.
I like it.
We don't need healing if it's a short fight.
Couple white shirt throws out here by this White Mage is all we're going to really need her to do.
Let's begin. White shirt, fast, ruse, and temper. Ignore. Do we have a ribbon on that night?
We have 2. I'm not sure where that second ribbon lives, though.
Okay. We got all our buffing off. Fire 3 goes off. Only 40 damage to the fighter. I am inclined to believe that has a ribbon on it. Temper towards the fighter, and we're already to attack mode. More tempers going off. 6 hits, 917. That is a good start. Incoming melee to the White Mage is not going to do much. White Mage, what are we doing? Flipping over to Fade strats. Final temper out of one Black Mage, while the other flips to nukes. 2 hits, 252. Not great. Kinda wish we had some locks right here. Fade for 155. Incoming Zap takes out the Black Mages, but it's a little too late for Chaos. We've done all our buffing already. Single hit for 207. Never mind. Where's our locks? Fade for 128. Here comes Bane. Doesn't tag either of them. 2 hits, 452. This is a very different Chaos fight than it was on that first swing. Come on, Vorpal, just do something. 3 hits, 320. Down goes Chaos. Dani finishes in first place with official race time, GG time, 59 minutes and 10 seconds. GG.
And get your GGs out in chat for Dani. And with that, we are joined in the booth by our winner on stream, first place, with an official racetime.gg time of 59 minutes, 10 seconds. Dani, 3883, how you doing?
So, quick question before I say anything.
Have
we been using the fact that this is on your channel to be liberal with our words?
We have not been. This is a family restaurant, and we have been treating it as such.
I will say
sir,
I forgot, otherwise I would have dropped several already.
Well, I'm going to drop one for you, because the first word out of my mouth when I finished Chaos was about 7 very loud fucks.
Woo! GG's, Dani.
Okay, sure. I have never felt so stupid in my life as I do right now, and for numerous fucking reasons.
Would it please you to know, though, that while you may have felt, a little bit some kind of way, that you did avoid nuke Medusas there inside of Ordeals?
As soon as I got done and I brought up the stream, that was the first thing I heard y'all say. Because I was just getting the loot and I heard nuke Medusas, and I went, fuck. I think I tried to take one of those fights.
You did.
Yeah.
I guess my nuke went off first, or I ran. I'm not sure which.
You actually had 2. One of them you ran, and the other one your nuke went off first, and we were terrified.
Yeah, we were very scared for you.
Especially with that slime grind you were doing on the top floor. You know, where the Medusas are.
Yeah.
Well, I saw... Well... Okay, so let's start. We're all... Okay. So... I may have... Okay, so I felt real bad from the get-go, because as everyone saw, and then probably went, well, what the fuck is Dani doing when I brought a White Mage? I had a thought process here. Stay with me. I didn't like it, but I had improved Cat Claw on my fighter.
Right.
I had legendary weapons on my White Mage.
Sure.
Who the fuck needs a tail if you've got that and can make it work?
Sure.
So that's one less check to do. Plus, my Red Mage wasn't getting nuke. Right. And even if I had it, it would have had fast. That's all the good it would have done me, because it couldn't get temper either. So it worked out fine.
Yeah, that's kind of the direction I was leaning in, was like a Red Mage with no nuke. Meanwhile, that White Mage could just swing like a Vorpal or a Stray Katana or whatever we find until like we do our promotion and we hand it off to the knight. I like your party a lot
else...
more, because I like the white double black more than I like the rainbow in this situation.
Yeah, that if I was bringing a white mage, I was 100,000% bringing 2 black mages. There was no question. So, and then I see Catclaw early, +3, and it's like 9 grand, and I've got that. Woo! Great, awesome. And then I get Talon's like, well, whatever. And then Vorpal does. It's like, this is fine. I did find a katana on a whim and threw that on my black mage, or white mage, and never used it. Honestly, forgot she had it after I equipped it. She was there to sling a white shirt. She did her job. But then I did other fun things, like I last location the loot. Partly because, well, who the fuck wants to go there while you're in the air? And it's out of the way. I also may have forgotten that I had saw the vendor. And not only saw it, but bought it.
We did notice that, but we also noticed very efficient use of tents so that you can quickly reset and be back in the air and heading off in a different direction. So it was a little bit of a waste of time, but you did it extremely efficiently.
Airship summer camp coming to the future for the kids near you. And there was plenty of other dumbs that I did. But the metal slimes and ordeals was because my levels were real bad and I hadn't seen anything to get levels. Right. And it's like, I'm leaving here at 23. Fingers crossed this works. And then you called out a thing on my chaos fight that you realized about 3 seconds after I did. I forgot that I had a ribbon on that night the whole damn time, and I just cast them all through supper, because this bitch ain't dying. Well, and then I go to switch the ribbon off the white mage right before chaos, and I went, oh my god, I'm the stupidest person alive.
I mean, we didn't see it, so...
There's nothing wrong with making sure. You were just doubly protecting that knight to make sure that nothing was getting through, which is fine. So while we're here discussing as well, Shadow and Mr. T threw Tia 2 onto the Chaos floor.
Momentarily, as soon as the encounter table gets out of our way again.
Sorcerers, please.
Did it ever deceive?
Alright, Shadow Mr. T taking the victory lap, the well-earned and deserved victory lap. Alright. Shadow Mr. T versus Chaos. Any final jiggling? Yes, we're gonna stick our black casters in the top 2 slots, keep our fighter in the white mage protected. No, we're gonna flip around a little bit, stick that red mage down to the bottom slot. Let's begin. Fast on the fighter. White shirt going off. Bonk? No. Yes? Yes. And then something out of the red mage fast going off. Saber, we might have double melee strats going on here. Incoming fire 3, not doing a lot to our bottom 2 characters. White shirt going off, power gauntlet going off. Gonna fast the red mage as well.
I think their red mage has that ice +5.
Gotcha, so sabering going off, bonking going off. Incoming melee, apparently Chaos has sleep touch, just in case you wanted to know that. Checking options, going for lock strats. We saw that Chaos was extremely evasive, so that lock's going to come in handy. Do an expert to be cheeky, but it doesn't quite stick. Yet more bonking going on. Lock 2 hits. Here comes the zap. Tags are 2 non-resist all characters. Let's try Test Swing. Vorpal goes out, 3 hits, 453. Ice Sword, 3 hits, 207. Not a heck of a lot of damage, but we could get there with this. We're going to do some lock strats because we need just more of these hits to stick. Our Knight throwing out a heal 3 just in case we get some spicy magic coming our way. We got 2 more lock 2s. We're going to use one or both of them in the next couple of rounds. We're just kind of healing 3. Heal 3 to just kind of maintain position. Bane comes out. Not going to work. Let's try some swings again. 4 hits, 512. That's better. 4 hits, 728. That's a lot better. Swinging one more time. 9 hits, 1,486 damage. Down goes Chaos. Shadow Mr. T finishes in second place, 1 hour, 6 minutes, 58 seconds. GG.
And with that, we are joined in the booth here by our second place finisher on stream, shadowmrt. GG's.
GG.
Screw those Medusas.
I mean, the funny enough, those 2 wipes you took to them were, painful, and Dani saw none of it. Go figure.
Huh,
No,
this seems like a repeat of last night in Ice Cave.
I feel a little bad because at least last night, like, I was getting, or not last night, the night before last, I was getting thoroughly bounced out of marsh while you were getting ahead of me, and then I get to ice and the same happened to you. I do feel a little bad about that. But it also seems like while you were getting bounced, I was full clearing everything under the sun with an early bout of amnesia. So that is such a mess.
I heard something about a katana was found. Where was that?
It was in C on the, what the hell does Caleb call that room? The backwards C room or the C room where there's just those 2 chests before the Sharknado floor. I just randomly checked those boxes because I wasn't checking anything else, and there was a katana -1 in one.
Not gonna lie, seeing that nuke at all one, I'm like, why'd they take a red mage? And I was so tempted to reset, but I'm like, that's gonna take too much time. Just roll with it.
So
Yeah, the no nukes sucked, and then when I saw nuke at level 1, I went, oh, "You're a funny game." But
I was just thinking to myself, knowing my luck, I'm only gonna find 1 ribbon, so we'll hope that like Life or Life 2 rolls, in the red mage tournament, which both did.
yeah, my whole, because I'm sure y'all saw what I said in the race room about my party.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, this makes sense. Do this, because Intel is one less thing you have to look for if you hit everything early. And then I couldn't have last location that loot harder if I tried. So, did me real no good.
So, Shadow Mr. T, I have a question.
What?
Walk me through the early ice dive.
Considering, I don't know, I must be masochistic or something going to ice after what happened in the last race. I was like, I gotta exit. It'll be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I bounced once, I was just gone. I was going the crescent and the floater.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that reminds me of the other stupid thing I did.
What'd you do?
Y'all didn't notice, but I did in ice.
Oh, no, we noticed.
Oh,
We were going to
yeah.
get to that.
Oh, okay.
This the self-inflicted banana peel out.
Yeah.
I didn't even banana peel out. I voluntarily walked out and then went to get my airship and went, oh, I'm fucking stupid.
You were so excited that you got the ribbon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't even that I got that. It was, I had levels. I took a couple of fights. I don't even remember what the fuck it was on. And I was like, no, it's fine. Let's just, right, we're good to go. And then as soon as I walked out, and I went, fucking hell. Let's walk back in there looking all sad and stupid. I'm about 3 seconds from turning my name into Discord, just dumb Dani. That's what, I'm just going to be on the Discord for a while.
So what did the crown lead to again? I'm actually trying to remember.
Vorpal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all led to the Vorpal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Spice wasn't even required.
No. I was ready to rock that cat call +3 all through the game, and then I do ice, and it was a Vorpal. After I did Marsh and got the canal, and I went, fine.
That canal and Marsh
It's
felt
like,
bad,
it was
'cause
like the entire
we
game took my plan from the get-go and blew it all to hell.
I think what's funny is, I don't remember, something casted Quad X on me fairly early on the fighter. I'm like, wait a second, why are you not dead? And then I remembered, wait, I put the ribbon on you, right?
I remember something casting Quad X and Topher, but my Black Mage had a Pro Ring. I don't remember what it was though, but I didn't see it earlier than that. Lit 3 imps right out the gate were fun. That's rude.
Yeah, but you had level 1 nuke. You were fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
No, I did. Not if I'm trying to run and there's like, no.
Yeah, I think after the second lightning 2 cuts, I'm like, alright, just fire everything at them before they fire it at us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I tried to run and immediately just got blown up.
So, this unfortunately marks the end of your tournament run, Shadow Mr. T. Do you have any final thoughts for the tournament?
I mean, it was fun. I'm surprised I even made it this far. I'm like, if I somehow got past here, I was like, there's no way I'm getting past Pickles and Beer. It's here. I'm done here or next round.
And Dani, moving forward to face, as we just revealed, Pickles and Beer, how you feeling?
Well, it's been fun. Congratulations on making top 8, Pickles. Knew you could do it.
You can take them.
I'm not going to call you biased, but
yeah,
I'm heavily implying it. No, it's been a hell of a wild ride. So, I mean, we'll see what next week's hold. But like, I have a feeling I'm further advancing Pickles into the tournament. So, and he's good people, so I'm all right with that. We're neighbors, kind of. So, but
Luffy, do you have any other questions?
I mean, I think I'll know what both of our runners are going to say here, but did either one of you have any consideration of picking up that black belt that you saw along the way? Just curious.
Nope.
I didn't see a grind tile, but I just stared at like, what are you? Because I was using a different sprite set than normal. I'm already promoted. No.
I'm horrible at remembering, like, telling what they were, but I thought that's what it was. But one, I got everything I needed on that fighter. I'm good. I don't want you. 2, I like my fighter, and I don't want a black belt. I'm pretty fond of that fighter. And then again, I hadn't seen a tile. I hadn't seen it, and I felt 17 years and 3 months and 4 days, 16 minutes and 37 seconds behind. So I wasn't about to try and level up a black belt. So no, you stay where you're at, buddy, because you ain't coming along for the journey.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, you both saw it like around roughly the same time, 35, 40 minutes in. There's really no reason to pick that fighter up. But I was just curious if there was any consideration whatsoever. But I agree. It was the right play.
All right, then I think we're going to move this along to final thoughts. We'll start with winner on stream, Dani. Final thoughts.
I mean, I think I already gave my first final thought. 4-letter word starts with an F. La hot sabum. I'm not expecting much next round, but I think it'll be fun regardless. Pickles is cool, so it'll be fun to race him. I've never raced him before, so it'll be fun. Thanks for the fun races, Shadow. Boy, did these seeds that we had the last couple of days have some bullshit in them.
I was starting to question, were you somehow rolling them still?
Right? But it was fun racing you and GG on making this far. Sorry. Even though it means me going forward, sorry you didn't make it further. And to my boys who did the stream today. Thank you.
Welcome.
Anytime.
Shadow Mr. T. Second on stream, first in our heart. Final thoughts.
Are we sure about that second part there? This was fun. It's gonna give me a bit of time off at least before the derby starts. Because boy, I think after some of this tournament races that I've had, I need a bit of a break. But yeah, geez, the Dani.
My wonderful co-coms, Luffy. Final thoughts.
I mean, not a whole lot. We had a lot of fun here tonight. This was really a great time. Thank you for asking me to do this with you. I was very excited when I saw this, the ping at work today, because it gave me something to look forward to. I panicked for a minute thinking it was earlier in the afternoon, so very happy that it was nighttime and I could be a part of it. But great job to both of our runners here. Level 1 nuke to 35-second floater, it felt like, to full clear the game. It was definitely a roller coaster of emotions. You both ran a great race. It was back and forth, and nuke Medusas are just fun.
Stick around, everyone. We are still in the middle of our winter tournament action. In fact, we're about to send y'all over to the Final Fantasy Randomizer channel to check out ADRV Krellin Game 3. So, stick around. Lots more tournament races to go. My name is Lorfenborfen. We will see you all next time. Have a good night, everyone.